The answer to the question everybody wants to know. LeBron, what's your decision?
In this fall, man, this is very tough. In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat.
In the summer of 2011, LeBron James shocked the world and signed with the Miami Heat in free agency. LeBron teamed up with NBA All-Stars Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh to form a modern super team. The year prior, LeBron had just finished leading the Cleveland Cavaliers to a league-best 61-21 record and captured his second MVP award. However, the Cavs would end up running into a gauntlet in the playoffs. They matched up against the high-powered Boston Celtics led by Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Rajon Rondo, and Ray Allen. The Cavs were no match for them, and LeBron was the only person on his team able to hold his own weight against them. The Cavs would eventually get upset by the Celtics and lose in 6 games. It was at that point that LeBron had decided that he couldn't win a championship in Cleveland and he had to get out. Once LeBron decided to leave Cleveland, the backlash he received was ruthless. Fans were burning his jerseys, and his own owner that drafted him, Dan Gilbert, dissed him. Dan Gilbert stated, and I quote, "As you now know, our former hero, who grew up in the very region that he deserted this evening, is no longer a Cleveland Cavalier." This was announced with a several-day, narcissistic, self-promotional build-up, culminating with a national TV special of his decision, unlike anything ever witnessed in the history of sports and probably the history of entertainment. I personally guarantee that the Cleveland Cavaliers will win an NBA championship before the self-titled former king wins one. As you can see, LeBron had a lot to prove in Miami. Once in Miami, LeBron began to put pressure on himself, leading to more hate and doubt coming his way.
But we also know you 3 kings came down here to win championships. Not 1, championships.
Not 2.
LeBron, tell us about that.
Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7. Hey, and when I say that, I really believe it.
He promised that he would win at least 7 championships in Miami during the Big Three's introductory celebration. Once the season began, the Heat got off to a slow start, losing their first game of the season to the Boston Celtics and starting off with a 9-8 record. However, they would turn it around and finish the season with a 58-24 record, good for second place in the Eastern Conference. The Heat would then breeze through the first 3 rounds of the playoffs, setting up a matchup with Dirk Nowitzki and the Dallas Mavericks. It was at this point that things would eventually go wrong for LeBron. He would go on to have the worst performance in his career in that series. In that series, he averaged only 17 points per game, and the Heat would eventually lose the series in 6 games. The backlash LeBron received after that series was relentless. Fans and doubters were left wondering if LeBron could ever win a championship, as he joined a super team and still couldn't get it done. As the 2012 season began, LeBron knew that he needed redemption. The NBA had a lockout that delayed the start of the season until Christmas, so LeBron had plenty of time to listen to all of the criticism that he was receiving. When the season eventually started, LeBron dominated. LeBron capped off the season averaging 27 points, a career-high tying 7.9 rebounds, 6.2 assists, 1.8 steals in just 37 minutes, while shooting career highs on both field goal percentage and three-point percentage. He went on to win his 3rd MVP award of his career, and it was now time for the playoffs. The Miami Heat ran through the Knicks and the Pacers in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, leading to a matchup with LeBron's bitter rival, the Boston Celtics, in the Eastern Conference Finals. The Heat got off to a fast start in the series, winning Game 1 by a score of 93-79 and Game 2 by a score of 115-111. Much to everyone's surprise, however, the Boston Celtics refused to give up. They would end up winning the next 3 games of the series and take a commanding 3-2 lead in the series heading back to Boston. It was at that point that the weight of the world was put on LeBron's shoulders. Would he fail to win a championship once again and make a fool of himself by forming a super team and not winning? Or would he defy all odds and come up clutch in the series? The next game would prove to be the most important in LeBron's entire career. LeBron walked into a hostile Boston crowd with a bold look of determination all over his face. At this point, LeBron would go on to have the most clutch performance of his entire career. LeBron absolutely dominated the Celtics that day, and there was nothing they could do to stop him. LeBron finished the game with 45 points and 15 rebounds, shooting an incredible 73% from the field and 50% from 3. The Heat would win the game by a score of 98-79, forcing a Game 7. The Heat went on to win Game 7, returning to the finals for a second straight year. Once the finals started, everything went right for Miami. The Heat won the series in just 5 games, and LeBron had finally won his first NBA championship and Finals MVP. Against all odds, LeBron had finally proved all of his haters and doubters wrong. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.